Hello guys, welcome to TradingView YouTube channel. In this video we are going to watch what is flip zone, what is resistance zone and what is support zone. So generally if you have watched my all the trade setup, in that trade setup I'm mostly providing three different zones. One is support zone, one is flip zone and one is resistance zone. So I think most of the people already know about what is resistance zone and what is support zone. So resistance zone is a kind of a zone where there is a supply, means the seller will sell from that zone, and support zone is a kind of a demand zone from where the buyer will buy the stocks or the whatever the entity that you are trading. And the flip zone is a kind of a neutral zone where either buyer or either seller that will take control of the move in the next coming session. So let me give you one example to understand it basic and very quickly. So I'm taking example with BankNifty because most of the people are familiar with BankNifty. So first I will give you this green zone. Earlier it was support zone, so price came down, and this red zone was a bit kind of a resistance zone. So price came down from the resistance zone, it stayed a bit near the flip zone, and from the flip zone seller take the control and they started to sell it, bring it down till the the support zone, which is a demand zone. Buyer started to push it up but fail, and the seller again started to give the breakdown of this support zone and take the price further down till the support zone. And from here again the buyer started to take the control and again take it back, and those buyers who failed here, so the price gave the breakout, gave the retest, and the buyer who missed to buy it here or those who get rejected from here, they again take the control from this support zone and push the price to the upside. So this was a bit of a fight here. And earlier if you see this blue zone, this was a flip zone. Why it was a flip zone? Because earlier it was working as a kind of a support, so it was a kind of a zone where the buyer were taking the control if the price was coming down till here. If I take it in the past as well, if you see the price is coming near this zone, it was getting under control of buyer, so it was getting pushed up from that zone. So earlier it was support zone, but since the price was in between and it violated this zone in this price action, so let me just adjust a bit. Since this zone was violated, so this support zone now turned into flip zone. So whenever if you have a one particular zone which is getting violated, so if it is a support zone and price is in between resistance and the support, so that intermediate support zone will turn into the flip zone. So here after that price violated this zone, so this support zone comes down as a flip zone. And now if the price sustain below this, then this flip zone will turn out as a resistance zone. So now let's say this zone is violated here. So as of now it is flip zone. But if it has violated this zone now, so this zone will be becoming a flip zone and this zone will become as a resistance zone. So let me just take example here. So I will turn this flip zone into the now resistance zone, and since now the price is between this resistance and this support, so this intermediate support, it will turn into the flip zone. So I'm marking flip zone as a blue and resistance zone as a red and support as a green. So now if you see the price, so whenever the price is now near resistance zone, it is pushing down, coming back to the flip zone now, which was earlier support, but now we will consider it as a flip zone. And from the flip zone, it was a fight between buyer and seller, and you can see the price was sustaining here. And since there was a fight between buyer and seller, so we have to wait, whoever takes the control, we have to go with them. So from here the buyer takes the control, gives the breakout of this resistance zone, and they lead it to very upside of this movement. Now the next day what happened, the market gaps down near the resistance zone, and you can see it is pushing down, again taking the resistance. So our resistance zone is pretty much valid, because if you see here it was also taken the resistance, here it has also taken the resistance, and here two times it has also taken the resistance. So here you can clearly see again from the resistance zone it pushed down to the flip zone, and again from the flip zone it pushed up to the resistance zone. So now what next? So again on the next day it gap up above the resistance zone, it came down, now it has turned this resistance into the support zone. But since we have the another resistance zone on the top, so first we will convert this resistance zone into the flip zone, so we will mark it as a blue. And since this flip zone has worked pretty much well, and we can see considerable buyers have been activating this upside move from this zone, so now we will turn this flip zone into the support zone. So this is how our next trade setup will become. So we will see, like as much as I'm saying in all my trade setup, it will be better risk reward to take the trade from either of the zone. If you take any random trade from any level, intermediate level, then the risk reward will be not that much big. So price coming down here, taking support from the flip zone, flipping, again coming, flipping, and bringing the price to the resistance zone. Now what next? Now the resistance zone has been breached and price trying to sustain. So now this resistance will turn into the flip. It will not turn immediately into the support, but it will turn into first flip zone. And now this flip zone will turn into the support zone. And sorry, I have marked already green because I already made the trade setup, but I will change. And now this zone will be our resistance zone. So resistance, flip and support zone. This is clear to everyone. Hope it will be clear to everyone. If anyone have any doubt, feel free to comment in the video. I will try to respond on time. So we can see price was stuck between resistance zone and flip zone, and the price was keep on hovering. And again on the next day it gap down at the flip zone, and the buyers get activated, give the up move, breach the resistance zone, give the move to this next level, and then it came down again, spent the time near resistance zone, again pushed up because the seller was weak here. So the buyer get strength and it pushed up, and it made a kind of a double top pattern, and then it pushed down. And if you see, whenever you are near the any zone, you will get the clear proper direction. Even here price was here, you push down till here only, again push. So this day was typical sideways days. And from here resistance zone, it again pushed down to the flip zone. Price stayed a bit and gave us a bearish candle, gave the breakdown of this flip zone, and then it started to fall down. So this flip zone now turned into the resistance zone again, and this support zone is still working as a support. So now since the price is below flip zone, below resistance zone, so now we can mark this flip zone as our resistance zone. So as per my trade setup, we cannot have resistance zone and support. We have resistance zone, and in between resistance and support we should have a flip zone. So if I have to say, it will be like first one resistance zone, intermediate support or resistance is called as a flip zone, and then after it will be a support zone. So now our trade setup is perfect. Resistance zone, flip zone and support zone. Hope this is clear to everyone. And we can see the price was keep on breaking down, but on the next move it is keep on coming up. So here if you take the trade, it was giving you small stop loss, but once the price goes up, you are getting pretty much proper move on the upside. So now if we consider this move here, so from the flip zone it already gave the breakout and it remained near this resistance zone, and we have this resistance zone. Then this resistance zone, since the price is above and down and moving around this, and it has been breached, so this is not decisive zone. It can be either buyer's control or seller control, so we will mark it as a flip zone. And then this flip zone, it will be turned into the support zone. So as per our rule, resistance, flip and support zone, this is satisfied. So I will also change this as a flip zone. Instead of flip zone, I will mark it as a support zone, and I will change the color to the green. So now we have support, and I will also change this. This is our flip zone. So we have resistance. I will also change, I will make it as a resistance as of now, and I will change the color to red. So since now we have the resistance zone, it has been already breached. So what we have to do for the next day? So this resistance zone we have to turn into the flip zone, and this flip zone we have to turn into the support zone, and then we will go above. So here this zone will be our resistance zone. So if we see as a resistance zone, flip zone and support, this is totally satisfied. And now for the next coming days, the price has already breached this, and we have this resistance. So this flip zone now will turn into support. So I will turn this into the support, mark it as a green, and I will also mark this level as a green, and I will also make this flip as a support and change the color to green. So we have this much zone as of now, but if you see it's like red and green, which would need one flip zone in between. So since this zone is already a resistance zone, so we will mark this zone as a flip zone and change the color to blue, and we will mark it as a resistance zone, and this is our resistance zone. Ignore this thing because it has been already previously marked. So this will be our zone for the coming days. And now what will happen if on Monday the price sustain above this zone, resistance zone? So on that day, if the price remain above this resistance zone, so we will mark this zone as a flip zone and change the color to blue, and we will also change this color to blue. And since we cannot have two different flip zones, so we should turn this zone into support zone. Okay, and we will change the color to green, and we will change the color to green. So now if the price open, I will also change the color to red to avoid the confusion. Okay, so this is our setup of our zone for our next coming days. So it will be like a resistance zone. Sorry, here is a resistance zone, here is a flip zone, and here is a support zone. So this is our condition satisfied, like resistance, support, and in between we should have one zone where the buyer and seller should fight, which is this flip zone. Hope it will be clear to everyone. You can prepare any chart with this simple setup of marking zones, and from that zone you can mark support, resistance, and in between, if there is a zone, you should mark it as a flip zone, because price will flip from that zone on either side. If the buyer takes the control from that zone, the price will move up. If the seller takes the control, then it will go down. If you see here, this was a resistance zone, so definitely seller's gonna sell it. So seller gave the down move. Here it was earlier it was a flip zone, so price flipped from here and went till the resistance zone. If you have this setup, you will be easily able to hold the trade with your strict stop loss. If you are taking the trade from this zone, you will be able to take a bit of a more risk reward, at least 1:2, 1:2.7, 1:3 type of a trade setup. Hope it was easy. And if you want to know how to prepare the charts, so I have already made one video about it, how to make the chart. So that link of that video is already in the description. You can watch it and you can prepare your own charts and zones from that video. Hope it was easy to understand, and if you have any doubt or any questions, don't forget to type in the comment box. I will try my best to respond to you as early as possible. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and if you want to watch some trade setup that I've been posting, you can check my channel and videos. You will be able to learn a lot of trade setup, that how I'm making that trade setup. That will also help you to prepare your charts. Once again, thank you for watching, and all the best for coming days.